All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Dice Throne talk on Tuesday as we continue to talk about Dice Throne and Dice Throne Adventures. Have something special for you this week as we are going to be talking about the Barbarian as well. I know AJ on the unofficial Dice Throne podcast, he talks about different heroes and he does a fantastic job with that. I'm going to go a different route on that. Just not going to do that probably every week, maybe. We'll see how this one goes and feedback on it. But it's going to be a different take on the heroes. So before we get into that, there has been an update, and we'll talk about that first. First thing first is make sure you lock in your addresses by October 15th, or if you plan to be moving, make sure to email them. That way they can get the product to you at the correct address. Something that you may want to do is you may be mid-moving, but you're not exactly sure where you're moving to. Put maybe a relative down or a friend, their address down that you know they're staying there for a minute, and maybe have the shipment go there. That way, no matter where you end up going to, you know that the product is showing up at the correct location. Development and prepness or pre-press 100%. Manufacturing, we're getting close there, 90%. The deadline for rerolled and the Ninja vs. Treant box was September 30th, so that should be pretty close to being completed. The biggest thing now is Dice Throne Adventures. The deadline for that is October 15th, give or take. So, and then finally, the big percentage number that we're all looking forward to going up is that freight and fulfillment one has to be loaded on ships, final arrivement at fulfillment centers, and then initial fulfillment beginning. Looking like early December. Give that 2 or 3 weeks. After that, you're looking around Christmas time, if not the first of the new year. So just be aware of that. Battle chest near completion, sending samples up, just making sure everything's good. Miniatures, have more photos to share with them soon. I know there was concern previously, but that's all right. Luke played Dice Throne on Twitch earlier this week, so check that out if you haven't already on Tabletop Simulator. And then we have Tim, who has created Legos of all the heroes. I think these are awesome and fantastic. I'm a big Lego fan as well. But these are just awesome. You look at little Nira right over there. So pretty cool. Gunslinger and Artificer and his bots. And really, really awesome overall. AJ posted another podcast. Thank you for having me on again, AJ. It was really fun talking about the Huntress and her strategies with Nira. AJ has also posted another video with Kevin, and they talk about the Seraph, and does another great job. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out those videos. I thought this was awesome too. Trick or treat, or trick or say trick. What skeleton curse thing? Make it two. We having a chord. That's pretty awesome. I know the community has really appreciated those little sketches there, cartoons there. So awesome on that. So that is what we have for the update. I don't recall when the next one is supposed to be. Did they say it at the end? Don't forget about the Halloween contest. Next update is October 15th. So that'll mean for this, we should get a good idea whether or not Dice Throne Adventures is still under production or they're going to be getting ready for loading on ships. So that'll be a really good one. So it'll be a couple weeks on that, so we won't have an update for next week. Other than that, we're going to go right into talking about the Barbarian. And for these dice talks, I'm going to be talking about, or showing rather, rolling and really with no cards overall. Because what you really want to do is try to roll with what you can get, and ideally not using dice modifiers just to try to get a basic attack. So what kind of dice to stick with, which ones to reroll, what to go for. I had a lot of fun doing this by even just by myself, and I would encourage you to do it too if you have some free time and you want to learn how to roll 4 different characters. So other than that, I'll head you to the Barbarian. Thank you. All right, everyone. So what I've got here is the Barbarian, and what I'm going to be doing throughout my Dice Throne talks is talking about the different characters in terms of complexity. So you're going to have complexity 1 through 6, obviously, because there's 6-sided dice. And what I'm going to start here is the Barbarian. And if you haven't seen already or heard the unofficial Dice Throne podcast done by AJ, he does a fantastic job with those. And he does very in-depth, very thorough job of talking about the heroes. So if you haven't already, go check those out. He has already done the Paladin, the Monk, and the Huntress, and the Artificer. I've been a guest on 2 of those, which was the Paladin and the Huntress, and I'll get to those as I go on doing these talks. I may not do these every single week, but I'm definitely going to be sprinkling these in as I go. And the biggest thing I'm going to talk about is, or show you rather, is complexity of how hard it is, or easy, based on complexity, to roll for a character's different abilities. So a Barbarian is complexity level 1. So based on that complexity, it shouldn't be difficult in order to use the character and use it well. I've got over here the 6-sided dice, the dice pool, you could say. He has 3 swords on 1, 2, and 3, life or heart shapes on 4 and 5, and then POW on 6. So 50% of the time he's going to be rolling swords, and the other half it's going to be non-swords, obviously. A big thing when you look at the Barbarian's board, and something that I have kind of figured out over time, is that if he rolls 1-6, especially on that first roll, I am going to be rolling those other 4 dice no matter what, unless there are other 6s as well. But I'm looking for that first 6. The reason why is because you have Sturdy Blow that wants 2 6s. You have Overpower, also wants 2 6s. A small straight and a large straight that also can use a 6. Crit Bash, 4 6s. If you have his upgraded ability of Crit Bash 2, he only needs 3 6s. And then you have Reckless. And then obviously your ultimate ability. So a big thing is rolling for those 6s. That's why you may see Manny at some time during different playthroughs of Dice Throne Adventures, he uses the Barbarian. He has 1-6 out there and he's going to roll the rest of the dice. Well, the reason why is because he's safe going that route. The only time he's not is during your defensive ability. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be keeping track on paper here. I'm going to be rolling, I'm going to go about 10 times right now, 10 offensive rolls, and show you how I go about it, what I'm getting a lot of, or if I'm whiffing a lot, maybe I'm blowing smoke here, and it's not true, but we'll find out after these 10 rolls to give us a little bit of an idea. And I'm not going to be using any cards, just a base roll attempt. So, and we'll get to what we can do with those cards after we go through these 10 offensive rolls. So let's go ahead and start rolling here. See, 1-6 right there. We also have a 4-5 and a 2 and a 4. So a lot of people may roll this 4 and try to get a 3. Well, you have a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 3 for the next 2 rolls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to that 6, and I'm going to roll these other 4 dice. Boom, another 6. Now, unfortunately, we did not roll any swords that time. So we're going to roll it again. Chances are, ideally, you're going to get 2 out of the 3 are going to be rolling swords. Or let's say during your attack, you're facing somebody, or you're in a King of the Hill type match and you want to heal yourself a lot, you use these 3 4s and you would roll these 2 6s. but we're gonna see if we can roll some swords here because we want to attack. Boom. So we have a 1 right there and a 1 right there. We're 1 short, but we still get Sturdy Blow, which is 4 undefendable damage. And that can be really good, especially if you have it upgraded to a Sturdy Blow 2, which is 5 undefendable, or 3, which is 6 undefendable. So that is 1 Sturdy Blow for our offensive roll phase. So we'll do it again here. And that was a 6 here. So we're gonna do the same thing. Even though I have those 2 swords, I'm gonna roll all 4. Boom, look at that. We now have what we're really looking for here is overpower. So on overpower, you get to roll 3 dice and then deal damage equal to the total value rolled. If the roll value is at least 14, inflict concussion. So we get to roll these 3 dice. And it looks like we have 11 attack. So we have overpower, and it's 4 and 11. Over 11. So I'll keep tabs of that as well. So that's 2. If you hear a squeak in the back, that's Caesar, obviously. So we have another 6. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, missing a 4. If I did get it straight there, I would definitely keep it, but because it's a broken straight, I'm gonna roll all 4 again. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. Now it's on my second roll. Honestly, I would keep the small straights, mainly because reckless, especially late in the game, I don't want to be receiving a whole lot of damage. So I would stick with Mighty Blow, but let's just see what happened if I would roll that 5. I don't, but I would have stayed with the Mighty. So we go again here. So that's Caesar. That's going to provide all the music background for us tonight. We have another 6. And look at that. We got more 6s. And for our last roll, it's a 2. But we do get Crit Bash on it. So on Crit Bash, we get that. Inflict Stun, deal 5 undefendable. Now on Stun, we would have another offensive roll phase. So let's go ahead and do that. It would still be our roll phase on this. There's a 6. Rolling all 4 again. Here's our 6 right there. So we at least have Sturdy Blow. We get 1 more roll. And it's another sword. So that's going to give us another overpower. Oh, we need only 3 dice. And it's a 5, 3, 3, that's an 11. So 11 for overpower. All right, we'll go at it again. Got our 6. Now we do have a 3, 4, 5, 6. So you want to keep attention to that. Small straight. We'll keep it, so you can do 9 damage, or you can try to go for overpower. Obviously, this is a safer roll because you're playing what the dice give you. Can we get that 2? No, we get the 1. So we go for a Mighty Blow there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive roll phases right there. We got our 2 6s right there. So we're going to keep that 3. The reason why, because we're going for swords now. And 1 more roll. No. So we do get Sturdy Blow again. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 5. So a lot of times with that crud, I was going for an attack. I got 3 hearts. What do? You take all 5 and you roll again. All right, so let's see what it gives us now. 1, 1, 1, 4, 4. So you can try to go for Fortitude, and you can roll with all 3 dice, go for Fortitude, probably get 1 more heart. Or you can go for a Smack. Let's just go completely offensive here. and we're gonna try to smack them. Boom. A full power smack of 8 damage. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clean offensive roll phases. We had an extra one because of crit bash. So we got our 6 right there. I'm rolling all 4. All right, so we got 2, 3, 5, 2. So now comes a really interesting point here. Do you go for their sturdy blow? Do you go for a straight? Do you go for smack? Well, on our last phase here, let's see what happens here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. It's another smack. That's a 4 damage smack on that one. So as you see what I'm doing here, the reason why I'm willing to roll that many dice even on my 3rd roll is because chances are half of the time I'm going to get a sword out of it. So it's worth the gamble on Barbarian because he is more forgiving on you re-rolling the dice. Boom. 2 6s right there. We want to keep the sword this time. All right, let's see if we can get the overpower here. We don't. I always do that, but that's all right. So we got another sturdy blow. It's our 3rd one. So 5 hearts right there. Now, if we had Fortitude upgraded on a 3 of a kind, you can also remove 1 status effect from yourself. Then yeah, you probably want to keep this because you have 3 of a kind right there. And if you have poison, any negative status effect on you, you would use that then. So definitely play to what you have and what's on your board. But since that's just our first roll, let's see what happens. See right there, boom, re-roll all their dice, very forgiving. And then on our 3rd roll, it's another 6, which we don't have any cards in our hand, so we only have a sturdy blow right there. That's our 4th one. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is our 10. We had a 4 damage and an 8 damage smack on that. So 2 smacks, 4 sturdies, 2 mighties, a crit bash, and overpower twice. So, and both overpowers were 11s. Usually 3 dice, the average of it would be about 9. So give or take 9. So if you're going for either an overpower or a mighty blow, it's probably better to risk it for the overpower to try to get that extra damage. But if you have mighty blow upgraded, which is a fantastic upgrade, it's deal 8 undefendable damage. You might want to stay with the small straights because it's undefendable damage. If you're going against someone like Pyromancer that wants to roll that defensive roll and you're denying that with 8 damage on top of, let's say right here, get some, roll 5 dice, add 1 to the total damage, inflict concussion. Or maybe head bash, deal at least 8 damage right here, and inflict concussion, and you can play the concussion game on them. So that is how we play, or how I like to play the Barbarian. Is if I roll that first 6, I'm going to be rolling. As you can see, I had all 6. I rolled all 4 dice for my 2nd roll or my 3rd roll, and I did not once whiff. Now, that doesn't mean you won't ever whiff. You will definitely whiff sometimes. You may roll that 6 and a 6 and then a 1 and then 2 hearts or something like that. It's possible, but with him being a level 1 complexity, the likelihood of that happening is less compared to someone maybe like the Shadow Thief or the Artificer, Huntress, what have you, when it's a little bit more complex. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoy just rolling dice all the time. I I just do that all the time. I go boom, okay, roll it all easy, see what happens. That was a 6, boom, 2, 3, 4. Now if you have a 2, 3, 4, that's also good for a small straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. I just kind of roll it all the time and see what I get, see what I get, see what I get. What does it go through? How would I go? And you can do that a lot by yourself, and just get better playing the character, maybe without any cards available to you, and see what you can get consistently. So now with the Barbarian, we've talked about how good he is without any dice modifiers. You may want to roll that, have those dice modifiers, let's say a 6-it, or twice as wild, or so wild, and then let's say you roll for overpower, and you roll this. So this is 9 damage, which is average, and you go, you know what, I want to go for big damage right now, twice as wild. 6 and a 6. Let's go ahead and make that 16 damage. And so you can do that, or you can deny your opponent an ultimate, or some negative stats effect, or evasive, what have you. You can use those modifier cards to help make the opponent whiff, because you are less likely to whiff, because really, as we just saw, you don't necessarily need dice modifier cards for your Barbarian, because his complexity is easy enough to where it's forgiving. If you have 1 6, you can roll everything else and try to match something with that 1 6 with another 6 and 2 or 3 swords, what have you. So hope you appreciate it. Let me know down below what your if you believe this is a strategy that you may want to take on next time, or a different strategy that you have that you want to share with anyone else. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.